Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Tewksbury Select Board meeting for Tuesday, December 16, 2025. The time is 7 p.m. I wish to invite everybody to join us in the Pledge of Allegiance. United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. All right. We get a couple of scheduled hearings, hearings. The first thing we have is 7 p.m. Vikram Car Service Corp., a Hackney vehicle license. Come right in front of us up here, sir.
Do I have a seat?
Yep, join right there. Name and address for the record, and then we're going to just let you open the floor up to you, and you just tell us what you're looking for.
Okay. Do I need to press?
It's already on.
Okay. So, yeah, so.
Name and address for the record.
Okay.
You just turned it off.
My name is.
Yeah, hit the button again. You just turned it off. You don't have to. If the light's on, then it's on.
Okay. So my name is Gurmukh Banbat, and I recently moved here in November 2024 and living in Tewksbury at 40 Bells Drive. And I'm here for my Hackney or livery license for my corporation.
Okay. All right. All right. We have a package that's been submitted. This time I'm going to open it up to the board. If we have any questions.
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
Holland.
I have a few questions.
Go right ahead, sir.
Thank you for your application.
Hello, hi.
I think this is the first Hackney license I've been involved in. What is the operational area you're going to be using this license?
So mostly, I'm going to work almost everywhere, wherever I get the calls from. I used to work for a cab company, and now I'm working for some rideshare, other companies also. So the license I needed for at the Massport, at the airport, they needed some kind of, where my base is, some kind of city license from a city to operate from the airport, pick up from the airport.
Okay.
Usually, they not allow any kind of permission to drop people off. But if you want to pick up people legally by yourself without any rideshare program, then they need this license.
Okay. My next question is U.S. citizenship. I didn't see that in here.
I do, but they never asked me any proof, but I do.
Okay. Let's see the other question I have. Certificate of insurance. I don't see.
I do have that also, and again, they never asked me that too, but I have them on my phone. If someone need, I can right now email anyone they need it.
Okay, so you do have
even a citizenship, the certificate, and the insurance certificate also.
Okay. I have no further questions, Mr. Chairman.
Okay.
Thank you.
Mackie?
I can appreciate this at the airport frequently, so
thank you.
I understand the pain, especially if you're not operating under rideshare. I have no questions. The packet did look complete. We may have to internally go back and amend that to make sure we get that certificate.
Oh, sure, yeah. I do have all the paperwork, even all the paperwork from the IRS also. And usually I done almost everything, whatever I need. Even I have the business certificate from City of Tewksbury also, but I never knew I need this one, this piece of the document to operate at the airport especially.
Yep, no, that's a miss on our part. We need to go back and update that policy because I did take a look at it and it's very outdated. It talks about you can only carry trunks for $1.
Sure.
So
anytime if they need more paperwork, I'm happy to do that also.
awesome. I have no further questions. Thank you.
Okay.
Just one, at 40 Wells Drive, 'cause it's obviously it's a neighborhood, very residential. Any vehicles that are going to be parked on site at the residence?
No, it's going to be in the garage. Right now, I'm starting with the only one vehicle, and that will be in the garage also. We have only 2 cars at the moment, and we have 2 garages plus 4 car spaces in our driveway. But at the moment, only 1 car will be using for the business.
Understood.
So as if we do build, we're going to increase more cars for sure, and then we're going to start looking for a place with the parking lot and the office place, and then we're going to start,
Operating out there.
operate from there.
All right, no further questions. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you.
All right, as a fellow select board members mentioned, the package that we have, that we requested, is complete.
Okay.
This policy is kind of outdated. I think the last time I signed one, and I think it was probably 11 or 12 years ago.
Yeah, that's
Last
right,
time somebody
because
applied
whenever I
for it.
was doing this paperwork and whoever I was asking, I used to live in Somerville and Medford, that area. They're very familiar with this kind of thing. I mean, that's what they told me in the city, the lady did it. They said, oh, they haven't done it from long time. I
Well,
said,
we
"All right."
appreciate it, and like I said, these are all questions that we should probably be asking ourselves about our policy and what we should have in there, insurance and other things like that, that we should have in there, but you submitted everything that was requested.
Okay.
And I appreciate that, and like I said, you came forward with us.
Again, I do have everything.
Yep.
If they need, I can provide.
What we'll do is, we'll probably revisit this, and, maybe we'll update it, and if you renewal, then you'll probably have to.
Thank you very
at
much.
that time. But I have no additional questions. At this time, I'll take any motions on the board.
We have a public hearing, Mr. Chairman?
Oh, yes, I'm sorry, thank you, Mr. A public hearing, is anybody who would like to come forward on this and have any questions or concerns? All right, seeing none, motion to close the public hearing?
So moved.
Moved.
And I got a motion and a second. All those in favor, please state by saying aye.
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well. Now, at this time, I'll take a motion on the matter.
Motion to approve the Hackney livery license for Vikram Car Service.
I'll second that.
I got a motion and a second. All those in favor, please state by saying aye.
Aye.
Chair votes aye, it's 4-0. Thank you, you're all set.
Very much.
Good luck.
Yep. Yeah, you'll contact Paula, and she'll, whatever you
Okay,
need
so,
to.
so contact Paula maybe tomorrow or something? Okay.
Yep.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thanks.
What's your phone number?
I might have, but I'll give you one. Just in case. I'll give you I'm very old in this business, but I'm new in this town. Just I have two cars.
It's the holidays, okay, back to the meeting. All right, let me see, what time do we got? This is scheduled for
Yeah, so-
7:10. You know what, I'm going to skip to, we're going to skip to donation for the senior center, because we got 3 minutes before this is supposed to be heard. So,
Mr. Chairman, there's an anonymous donation in the amount of $2,000 to put on, to the senior center.
okay. All right,
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion to accept the donation of $2,000 from an anonymous donor.
all right, I got a motion. We got a motion and a second. All those in favor, please state by saying aye.
Aye.
Chair votes aye. I know it's anonymous, but if there is a way to contact whoever donated it and give a letter of thanks, I'd appreciate that.
Yeah.
Next thing we have is donation to the police department, approval of a donation.
Okay, Mr. Chairman, there's a donation. Just want to make sure it's not supposed to be anonymous before I read off the names like I did the last meeting. Looks like it's okay. The owners of Ostrowski Plumbing, Heating Incorporated, 978 Plumbing Incorporated, each made donations of $750 to the police department for a total of $1,500. These businesses got together to make the combined donation and requested that the police department use the funds to help members of the community that are in need this holiday season. With the assistance of Family Service Officer Kim O'Keefe, we've identified families in town in significant need, and these funds will go to them.
All right. Do I have a motion on this matter?
I'll make that motion to accept the donation with letters of gratitude to Ostrowski Plumbing and Heating and 978 Plumbing and Heating for the total amount of $1,500.
Second.
A motion and a second. All those in favor, please state by saying aye.
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well. We might as well get the last donation out of the way. We'll do the donation to the Veterans Department.
Okay, Mr. Chairman, this is a donation from Oakdale, I believe it's a liquor store. It's two $25 gift cards for the holiday luncheon, for the Veterans Holiday Luncheon.
Do I have a motion in this matter?
Motion to accept the donation of $50 for the Veterans Department.
I'll second that with a letter of gratitude to the donor.
Yep, I got a motion and a second. All those in favor, please state by saying aye.
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well. Those are all passed. Okay, we got those out of the way. Next, we're going to go back to our 7:10 public hearing, Lisa's Family Pizzeria. Do we have anybody here on this matter? Come join us up front and share your name and, what your organization or what it's about, that's all.
Sure. So my name is Jennifer Deacon, and the corporation that I own is called Spitfire Slice Co. I am Canadian. My husband and I relocated down here in the summer. We own a couple of pizza shops in Canada, and we are looking to expand our footprint stateside. And this is the second acquisition that we are planning on in the New England area. And we are hoping to take over on January 2nd.
Okay. All right, at this time, I'll open it up to the board. Do we have any questions or?
I guess from my perspective, I mean, because the packet, I mean, there's not really a lot of information here, so is everything, I mean, there's reviews that have been done from a health standpoint, obviously, and I think that you're checking all the boxes, so to speak.
Yeah.
And there's not going to be any alcohol involved?
No.
From that standpoint, okay.
No, we're going to run the business exactly as it is right now.
Okay, all right, so then that makes sense, okay, all right.
Our plan, probably 12 months down the road, is that when we have a few locations going, we will change the name and they will all have the same name, but for right now, everything is staying
Staying
as
as
is.
well. Okay, all right. Almost a check.
Any other board members have any questions?
I have one question, Mr. Chairman. I know, I saw the list and it was approved by the Board of Health.
Yeah,
Do you have a grease tank outside the building?
it's an external tank, yeah.
It's an external tank?
Yeah.
Okay. That's all the questions I have, Mr. Chairman.
So I see you taking over, this was Lisa's Family Pizzeria, and I know that was a chain. Are you taking over any of the other ones, or is it
No,
just?
just the one
this
location. They've all become separate over
Okay.
the number of years. There is talks that from a website perspective, they may come back together again, but they are all separate.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right. So you'll have, it's going to remain under the same name?
Yep.
Okay, all right. All right, I have no other questions at this time. Any motions in this matter?
If public hearing,
Need to
Mr.
open it up?
No, I'm sorry, public hearing.
Public hearing, yeah.
It's a public hearing. Do we have any residents that would like to be heard on this matter? Seeing none, I'll take a motion to close the public hearing.
So moved.
Do I have a
Second.
second?
I'll second.
Motion and a second. All in favor of closing the public hearing?
Aye.
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well. Okay. Now we can take a motion on the matter.
Motion to approve the common vic license for Lisa's Family Pizzeria, 2312 Main Street, under new ownership.
I'll second that.
We got a motion and a second. All those in favor, please state by saying aye.
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well. Congratulations, you're all set.
Thank you very much.
Best of luck.
Now, get in touch with Lisa and she'll get you whatever you need.
Perfect, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Happy holidays.
You too. All right, residents, would you like, any residents who would like to be heard at this time?
My name is Christine Chesborough. I'm at 398 Chandler Street. This is just a comment about the community host agreement regarding the lithium battery site and to request a public hearing. The proposed project involving the lithium battery infrastructure will impact the town for years to come, with potential implications for public safety, environmental protection, emergency response, and the quality of life. Because of the nature of lithium battery facilities and their known risk, residents are asking for transparency around the community host agreement tied to this project. Given the scope and lasting nature of the agreement, residents believe it is important that the document be shared publicly and discussed in an open forum where questions can be asked and concerns addressed before it is signed. There is no legal requirement that a community host agreement be discussed in executive session. These agreements are routinely reviewed in public meetings in other Massachusetts communities. Keeping the agreement private limits residents' ability to understand the terms, evaluate potential risks and safeguards, and provide meaningful input on a decision that will directly affect the community. This request is not about the opposition or delay, it's about open government, accountability, and public trust. Transparency ensures residents are informed and allows town leadership to benefit from public feedback before finalizing an agreement of this significance. Residents are simply asking for a public hearing and access to the community host agreement so they can be informed, engaged, and heard prior to it being finalized. Thank you.
Thank you.
My name is Dawn Sheehan, and I live at 100B Star Ave, and I'm here to talk about the lithium battery site. Data is only started to get released from the company since the battery change that we still have not been told about by any of the representatives from this town. We are still waiting to the information on the hydrogen fluoride spread, but here we have the carbon monoxide data, and this is the spread depicted if only one battery caught fire. In the middle here, we have immediate danger to life, so certainly our firefighters would be faced with that. Then we have another area outside is possible life-threatening effects. Now, firefighters, they have gears, they have monitors. But what about this blue area? Serious health effects. These are several different properties. We work outside right here. I personally have stood right here with some of the people in this room working on parade floats. My family does so much for this town. Who's sticking up for us? This house. Are you guys okay with that? That this has serious health effects. We know carbon monoxide is the silent killer, and that's okay. Would your viewpoint on this project change if that was your home with your family? It is someone's. This is affecting lives. Your petition to intervene shows you have been actively exchanging host agreements since September of last year. That is 15 months that you have had. My question is, how many outreach meetings have you had with the community? Aren't we the ones you're writing this for? We've been told you've been frustrated by the number of emails we sent, especially because some of them are matters you're already addressing. So why are you conducting it behind closed doors? The fact that the permitting process lies with the state has nothing to do with why everything is being discussed in secret. There is no legal reason why the HCA cannot be made public and discussed with this community. What are you doing? Is there comments in the HCA regarding the property value of this home? Or how is that homeowner supposed to be compensated for that? You've made changes to the stormwater plan. Under the Groundwater Protection District, a system of stormwater management must be designed and approved by the Planning Board. So did that change go before Tewksbury's Planning and Conservation Board? Honestly, this feels more like a town hall host agreement than a community host agreement. That new ramp, that firefighter access, is depicted on our property. Why is this not going before the boards? You have no right to build on our property. We beg you to start holding public meetings and involving the community that you are elected to support now, before the host community agreement is signed. Your planning boards, your town boards will have no power once the permit goes through. All of the bylaws are done. They have nothing to enforce. Involve them now when they have power, not after. Why are you going to court with what, one witness?
Do we have any other residents that would like to be heard?
Hi, I'm Linda Martin. I live at 34 Emerald Court. Oh, excuse me, 25 Emerald Court, right. I'm here partly as a response to the meeting you had on December 2nd. And during that, and I wrote you a letter to you all the next day about this because I was very disturbed about your answer to Mr. Peter McCoy, who is a resident of Emerald Court. He asked you to clarify your position on the proposed lithium-ion battery facility, and you did not provide a direct response. Instead, you stated that this process was up to the state, they would make the determination, and that your only concern was with the safety and the operations of the facility. And I do applaud you for what, I think it was Mr. Ryder, talked about the number of checks and balances you had coming up on that facility. But, and this is probably was brought up by Dawn too, since before September 18, 2024, the selectmen of this town have known about this facility. And there was no, and I don't see any attempt to make any abutters aware of this facility. In fact, I was shocked when I watched the March 2nd, 2024 Select Board's meeting where East Point Energy presented their proposal, and there were several questions, but nothing very deep or thoughtful that came from the Select Board. At that time, March 4th, the residents of Emerald Court did not know about this facility. We received a letter, maybe about that time, but our presentation was on March 18th, 2 weeks after the presentation to this committee. And at that, and I want to be clear because the company, East Point Energy, frequently talks about their outreach to the community. Well, that was not an outreach. We went to the Hilton. We were brought into a room where there were 5 poster boards. Nobody gave a presentation. We had to go to each poster board and ask them what their poster board represented. At that time, I did find out I was 564 feet from the facility. It was quite a shock. So let me go back to what I said. What you said this decision was up to the state of Massachusetts to make. Well, to me, I don't see that as, that's not an excuse for proposing the facility, for being in support of this facility, because you have opportunity to intervene in this process. The state opened this up for public hearings. The state opens this up for comments. All of these are available to everybody on the EFSB site. And the town has hired an independent lawyer to represent the town. But I believe, as Ms. Sheehan just said, that this lawyer seems to be representing the board, not the residents of Tewksbury. In fact, close to 3,000 residents of Tewksbury signed a petition to stop this lithium-ion battery facility. And you can receive copies of that. The originals lie with the EFSB board. So at any time, you can pick up and say, the town wants to have more of a say in this, and not just pretend that you're just covering up the safety issues. All right, my second question pertains to the cost to the taxpayer. I do directly in my letter ask to know what you were paying Mr. Barrison, the lawyer that's representing the town in the intervenor process. He was hired independently of the town council. And I know you have a host agreement, which I assume is to somehow get funds back from the town to cover the expenses that the town will incur. But for example, are you expecting the company to pay for the damage to the roads that will incur when 93,700 pounds of batteries come down those roads? That's well over the federal limits of weight. They will damage the roads. Is the host agreement addressing that? We don't know, because as we've heard, that the host agreement is not available. I know there's a pilot discussion going on in lieu of taxes. Will these payments that you expect from the government payments from the company cover all the expenses I foresee the town will have? And I would like at some point to hear some answers to these questions. Thank you.
Thank you.
Gerard Corbin from 82 Emerald Court. I'm just going to I got a couple things, but I'm going to start by reading the letter that I sent all of you last week. First, again, I will apologize to Mr. Kern for misspelling his name, and I'll be careful going forward. The letter states, A procedural conference for the Hillman Energy Center proposal was held yesterday, Thursday, December 11th, by the Energy Facilities Sitting Board of the Department of Public Utilities. The conference focused in part on a number of expert witnesses, the two current interveners, the town of Tewksbury and De Palma Sheehan, plan to present at the evidentiary hearing scheduled to begin in February. Note there is a decision pending at the town Tewksbury Board of Health's request for intervenor status. Counsel for De Palma Sheehan indicated plans for 5 experts witnesses. In contrast, the town of Tewksbury's counsel stated that they anticipated 1 expert witness in addition to testimony from town manager Mr. Curran. Considering the extensive permitting and variance requirements, along with the serious concerns raised through the Energy Facilities Sitting Board public hearing on October 9th, the Board of Health meeting on October 20th, the Select Board meeting on December 2nd, I had anticipated the town would field a greater variety of expert witnesses to thoroughly address the project's potential impact. Mr. Curran's letter of October 9, 2025 to the EFSB regarding Hillman Energy Center Tewksbury proposal, he stated, the Hillman Battery Energy Storage System proposal currently before the Energy Facilities Sitting Board is of the utmost concern to the Select Board and the local town board and officials. The town's primary focus is on the potential impact of public health and safety in the community. The town is fully committed to representing the town's interest in the intervening party through the EFSB. And I want to repeat that sentence because that's what I think a lot of us have concern about, is whether or not this sentence is being met. The town is fully committed to representing the town's interest in an intervening party through the EFSB process. I find it difficult to reconcile this commitment with the plan for only 1 expert witness. Therefore, as I did at the Select Board meeting on December 2nd, 2025, I once more urge the Select Board to actively participate in preparing for the evidentiary hearings, ensuring that all the needs and concerns of Tewksbury residents regarding this proposal are presented and thoroughly examined by experts. Another note is the council at that point mentioned that while the town had plans for 1 expert witness, as of that date, they had not identified the expert witness. And remember, the hearings and the data for those hearings begins on February 9th. The second thing I'd like to talk about tonight is the town of Tewksbury consists of lots of things. But the government of the town of Tewksbury consists of a bunch of boards and departments. Some of the boards are elected and some are not, but you know, it's a community. Our understanding right now, and this is based on the discussion that took place in this meeting, is the Board of Health is asking to be an intervener, but they are suffering from one issue, and that is that they cannot get legal representation. They cannot get a lawyer. My question is if the Board of Health is a part of the town of Tewksbury's governing bodies, and the town of Tewksbury's governing bodies have a relationship with this lawyer that specifically for this project, why the Board of Health needs their own lawyer, why can't it utilize the same services that that the Board of Selectmen can use? To me, that seems like a gross injustice, and it makes the board look like we got our agenda, and if you have an agenda that's different than our agenda, good luck to you. Someone already mentioned permitting does rely with, as the excuse we hear all the time is permitting relies with the state, and that is true. But the purpose of the process is to have interveners who are allowed to present evidence as to why this proposal may not be the greatest thing. And I think that there's a lot of things we could be presenting. You could be looking at traffic. You could be looking at evacuation. You could be looking at health and safety issues. You could be looking at transportation issues. You could be looking at conservation, wetland issues. And yet I see one expert witness to be hired to address all of these issues. I find that a little bit hard to believe. Two more things. I noticed that there's a pilot agreement, and I think someone mentioned that earlier. I'd be curious to understand why this is not a traditional taxable property like anything else, and why it is being addressed as a, payment in lieu of taxes agreement, and why that's being done. It may be very good reasons for it, but again, as someone mentioned earlier, we're not being privy to a lot of this information. The host community agreement, the pilot agreement, these are all things that are keeping us in the dark, and when we're in the dark, we get nervous. Finally, I wish Mr. Ryder was here, because we talked 2 weeks ago about the fact that there was only one exit from Emerald Court. Well, it's really not Emerald Court that only has the one exit. Anything north of that Old Boston Road has one exit. If you look at Archstone, Archstone has one exit. It does have a little gate, but that gate's on Washington Street, and if you're on Washington Street, the only way you're going to get out of town is through Old Boston Road to get to Main Street. So just so you know, if you look at the number of residents at units at Archstone, Court Street, Dock Street, Emerald Court, Bayberry, Old Boston Road, and Washington, you're talking 538 units. So if you were evacuating, and that doesn't even count the businesses in the area, if you were evacuating, you're looking at almost 550 cars. That's assuming one per unit, which may be a little bit, which using government numbers of 14 feet per car, that's a little over 1.5 miles of traffic in that little bottleneck that's got to get out either end of Old Boston Road, the Archstone Street, or the Power Line Road. And where did all 4 of those exits go? Main Street. Other parts that would be impacted on the other side of Main Street have other options. They can head towards Billerica, they can head towards Wilmington, they could head to Lowell. But for those of us in that little island, we're stuck. Thank you for your time, and we'll see you in 2 weeks.
I'll try to be quick. Ryan Lloyd, 159 Booth Street. There's been a lot of talk about the battery, so I don't want to keep dragging it on. But I spent 12 years in the military. We don't do a plan unless we have every box checked, every worst case scenario planned for, every evacuation necessity covered. I have family living at Emerald Court. I meet with veterans at Bayberry once a month for breakfast, and their big concern is what happens, God forbid, if at least one of these batteries decides to light up and catch on fire, and they have to get out of there. Like it was said, there's limited access to get out of there and in there, so if the fire department's there handling the issue, that could block one of the ways out. That can hinder traffic. A lot of the people there may need help getting out because they're in assisted living, because they're elderly, because they don't have vehicles. So if people have to get in there to help them get out, that's just going to make the situation even worse. So I was just hoping that there was some kind of evacuation plan for a worst case scenario if something were to go wrong. Thank you.
All right, do we have any other residents that would like to be heard? No? Okay, I'm going to move on to our next new business. Mr. Curran, the Trahan project, school documents.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. These documents, there are 3 documents in your package. You voted to approve these documents at the November 3rd meeting. We only executed the one document, which was the option to lease, but just speaking with the attorneys for both sides, they would like all of the documents executed so that everything can be on file. And it does not require a vote of the board, but it does just require that the board execute the documents. So you can do that now, you can do it at the end of the meeting.
So we don't need any action on it?
No. I spoke to council, and it doesn't require a vote.
Okay.
So I do have a question on that.
Go ahead, Mr.
So the motion that was made at the last meeting for this was to approve the documents.
Yes.
My position on this is very clear. So we approved the documents and then we executed one.
Right.
And the intention, my understanding was it was okay because we weren't going to execute the others until milestones were met, what little protections we did have in these documents weren't gonna come into play until we were ready for this. I believe Mr. Russo actually asked a direct question on if we were executing all of these at that time. And I still have concerns around these documents because these documents are still incomplete. There are still exhibits that are missing or exhibits that are blank. This is still not a complete document set. And I know the board approved an incomplete document set, but I would not want to worsen the issue by continuing to move forward with incomplete documents. That doesn't go into the other issues I have with the project, so I want to stick on just what we're talking about tonight. But I wouldn't understand why we'd execute the lease tonight, or the land development agreement, or the pilot program. We executed the option to lease. That made sense to execute that document, even if I didn't like the document. But the rest of this, I have serious concerns around. Thank you.
Do we have any other comments or concerns? Okay, thank you. All right, we're going to move on to,
I would challenge that, though. If we don't need a motion, I would like council to weigh in on that, because there's no way that a motion that was made, and I went back and watched the video, for us to approve 4 documents and execute 1 covers execution of the other 3.
we don't have a motion on the floor tonight. We're not taking a vote on this. It's not even on our agenda.
The Trahania documents are on the agenda, and we were just asked to execute the documents. We cannot do that without a motion. If there was no motion tonight, which I don't think there should be, we still need council's opinion on this matter.
Okay.
Can I just get clarity?
Yep, go ahead.
So, Mr. Chair, so Mr. Kern, to Mr. Mackey's point, after the last vote that we did take on this, we walked out of here with one conclusion, and then if I heard you correctly, when you were presenting this, you had said that you got additional input from council. Is that?
Right, so the council for the Trahan,
Yep,
the development,
yep.
they need all documents executed to show that the town is committed to all 4 documents.
Okay.
My response to that was, well, what if, if we execute, they have to fulfill the conditions
Yep.
of each document. They're all contingent upon anything. So my concern was, by executing the documents before these things occur, does that put the town in any type of liability? And as I asked our attorney that question, and he said, no, because everything is contingent upon, you have to complete one to get to the next, to get to the next. So if they are unable to fulfill the terms of the option to lease, the other documents will not be valid. But there has to be a good faith understanding that town is committed to all of these documents. That means that all the documents have to be executed. So that's why, that's how it was explained to me, that they do need to be executed. Now, I understand there's some information missing from the documents, but those are dates. Most of those are dates, and that they can be filled in, once the documents are complete.
I'm assuming council has all of the exhibits.
They do.
I would imagine so. And those exhibits, I do believe should be a part of our packet at some point before we do execute these documents, because at the end of the day, it's a public document.
So these documents were given to you in November.
But with the exhibits, though?
No.
That's what I think all the information in here is complete. Regardless of Mr. Mackey's point of his opinion on it, the exhibits, though, are not present here. It refers to the exhibits, attached plan, attached pro forma project, attached proposal.
So those were given to you. They're not in this package, but those exhibits were given to you in the past.
Okay. And that was at the meeting that we took the vote?
I'll have to go back and look, but I just know that the plan, those things that you're referencing, those are documents that were provided to the board.
Okay. I'll have to go back then to mine as well. Okay. All right. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Mr. Holland, you got any questions?
I'm all set.
All right. Thank you. We're going to go on to license renewals. So in front of us, we have automatic amusement renewal licenses. We have 2 of those. We have the Knights of Columbus, Oscar Pinatas, and Tewksbury Elks. There's a couple of notes on there with some pending things, and they won't go into effect until all those have been resolved. But at this time, they're looking for us to take a motion on this. So I'm looking for a motion to approve the Knights of Columbus, the Oscar Pinatas, and Tewksbury Elks with the things that all the pending documents are submitted to the town.
I would just recommend, Mr. Chairman, that your motion be contingent upon satisfying the notes attached to these licenses.
Okay.
So moved.
So I got a motion?
I'll second that.
I got a motion and a second. All those in favor, please state by saying aye.
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well. Next one we have is class license renewals. Same thing. We have 1032 Motor Cars, AK Motors, Boutette's, Auto Body, Dominic Germano, Echo Auto, Speed Motors, TAC Auto Group. And we're looking for a motion to approve pending the notes on the documents be approved.
So moved.
Okay, so I got a motion. Do I have a second to that?
I'll second that.
Okay, a motion, a second. All those in favor, please state by saying aye.
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well. Common Vic renewal license. We have Al Medaya Indian Restaurant, Anthony's Roast Beef, Capolini's, Dandelions, Dunkin' Donuts, 8 locations, edibles, or edible arrangements, I'm guessing, Giovanni's, Hewden Walk, Jimbo's Roast Beef, Knights of Columbus, Long Meadow Golf Club, McDonald's, Meadowlands, Oscar Pinatas, Perfecto's Cafe, Subway, Tewksbury Wilmington Elks, The Pull-Up, and Ujo Incorporated. And once again, we have notes on this that the town is looking for information, so it would be pending they submit all the documents on the document that's listed. Take any motions on that,
Make that
please?
motion.
Okay, I got a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
I got a motion and a second. All those in favor, please state by saying aye.
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well. Next, we have entertainment license renewals. We have John Ryan's, Knights of Columbus, Long Meadow Golf Club, Oscar Pinatas, Tewksbury Wilmington Elks. Once again, we have a couple of notes on there with some pending information the town is requiring, so I'm looking for a motion to renew pending the documents, the notes that the town's requiring to be submitted. I got a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second. All those in favor, please state by saying aye.
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well. We have farmers market renewals. Astanap Sellers, Bliss Point Metairie. Looks like we do not have any notes on this, so this is something that looks like we may just be able to approve the notes, the renewals. Do I have any motion on that?
Yeah, I'll make that motion.
We got a motion. Do I have a second? Motion is second. All those in favor, please state by saying aye.
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well. That's approved. Liquor renewal licenses. We have Three Amigos, 99 Restaurant, AJ's Beer and Wine, Angelina's, Brothers Sports Bar, Capolini's, Cracker Barrel, Hilton Garden Inn, John Ryan's, Knights of Columbus, Longhorns, Long Meadow Golf Course, Luna Rosa, Main Street Sports Grill, Mango Thai Cuisine, Oscar Pinatas, Tewksbury Wilmington Elks, Charlebrook Golf Course, and New Joe's Incorporated. Looks like we have a number of notes. So once again, we're looking for a motion to approve pending all the documents and notes that are required by the town be sent in by the end of the year. So,
So moved.
got a motion. All those in favor, do I have a second?
Second.
Got a motion and a second. All those in favor, please state by saying aye.
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well. That's it. Last one, we have a marijuana renewal license, Lazy River Products. We do have a note on that one, so I'm looking for a motion to approve the renewal pending the notes and documents that are required by the town to be submitted by the end of the year.
So moved.
Got a motion? Do I have a second? We have a motion and a second. All those in favor, please state by saying aye.
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well. That takes care of all the license renewals. Town manager, I don't think we have any other pending things, right? I think that handles all those.
That's all of them, yeah.
Okay. Okay, we're going to get into town manager report.
Question on the licenses here.
Yep.
So there are some that appear to be missing. Are we going to have a later batch or?
Which ones do you appear to be missing?
So I know that there are other, historically, these lists have been a bit longer. So,
We approved those at the previous meeting.
okay.
That's why, these are the ones that were outstanding with documents. We already did those ones that were going, these are the ones that they was chasing down.
Perfect.
Okay. All right. Yeah, so to my discussions with the town manager and things to make sure everybody got their documents in on time, I checked with things, and these were the last remaining ones. There was a couple, they were chasing down some businesses, but to the best of our knowledge, I believe every business has been contacted and has the ability to renew their licenses. Okay.
Yes.
All right, back to town manager report, Mr.
Okay,
Cumming.
thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'd like to do professional recognition on November 22nd. Public safety personnel responded to a report on an unresponsive male where dispatcher Josh Whittemore had initiated CPR instructions with the victim's wife over the phone. Officers Leffler, Sheehan, and Speller arrived swiftly, gaining entry to the home and immediately recognizing the dire situation that performed CPR, utilizing an AED and coordinating with Tewksbury Fire personnel to successfully regain the pulse. The victim was admitted to Leahy's Hospital Critical Care Unit, where he unfortunately passed. Due to the efforts of this team, he lived another 8 days, and family were able to see him before he passed. We'd like to just commend our public safety personnel for their exemplary actions and their quick and dedicated response in that unfortunate situation. I'd also like to call out Alex Lauder for conducting another successful tree lighting ceremony last weekend. There were many balloon animals passed and caroling, and of course Santa Claus made an appearance. Many donations were made to the Tewksbury Fire Department's toy drive. The event was well attended and enjoyed by all in spite of the temperatures. Also, the area down near Walmart in Motel 6, we're putting together basically a task force to talk about boosting presence there in terms of police presence, but also to talk about economic development in that area and what we can do to help improve the situation. So I'll keep the select board apprised of that and involved, and I just want to make you aware of that. And then there's a few other items on here. I know that select board member Holland had asked about the cannabis and billboard revenue. So we have received 2 payments of $25,000 each for the first billboard. In accordance with that contract, a total of $15,000. We also received $15,000 roughly for cannabis revenue in one of the quarterly payments that's transpired. There's another quarterly payment that they actually submitted to check to the town, and so we're still talking to DOR about how to handle that, but that was roughly around $27,000. So in total, 37, a little over $40,000 in revenue has come in from cannabis. And let's see what else I have on here. We did just hire an animal control officer. We're going back to our own animal control officer. We still will have an MOU with the town of Billerica to use their pound, and we'll split the duties there, but the town is going to go back to the animal control officer. Won't have an impact on the budget because we were basically paying the town of Billerica to employ that person, and we actually bought the vehicle for that animal control, so we still have that vehicle, and now we'll just employ the person directly. Lowell 5 has generously donated $2,000 to the town to assist with food insecurity, and this money will be donated to the Tewksbury Community Pantry. I'd like to thank Senior Vice President Cheryl Pop and her team at Lowell 5 for being great community neighbors. The North Street School RFP, I've been working on that RFP, will be before the board during one of our January meetings after it's reviewed by town council. I also, for your own information, because it was referred to in the Trahan RFP, I forwarded the survey that was done in 2022 for your own edification. Also, planning board filing fees. Currently, there is a $1 postage surcharge for abutters on each site plan and special permit application to account for statutory legal ads. I'm not going to go into this whole thing, but the planning board is considering increasing their fees for filings based on the increased demand for postage, basically. I just wanted you to be aware of that, because sometimes select board members get calls about fees that go up, so I wanted you to be aware of it. And then I said, save for last, this actually came up in citizens participation. I think Mr. Corbin brought it up about why we would negotiate a pilot, and I actually put it on the town manager's report because we were aware that this issue has been raised on social media. So in the interest of transparency, I just want to explain what a pilot was and how and why a community and or a corporation would want to do a pilot. So basically, it's a great question, and the explanation is timely given what we're doing, what's going on with that battery proposal. So just for informational purpose, property tax is the most significant source of revenue for the town of Tewksbury in any town. This source is about 69% of the total revenues for the town. Other sources are primarily state aid and local receipts. Pilots are often used when a nonprofit or a tax-exempt entity enters into a community. A pilot agreement is a recognition that while these nonprofits do provide inherent economic and cultural benefits to a community, they also do benefit from the resources of local communities and sometimes contribute a greater strain on the resources than a typical taxpayer. So example of a pilot in that situation would be like a hospital or a university. And then another instance when a pilot can be enacted is with energy storage systems, which is what's facing our community today. And that's dictated by Chapter 59, Section 5. This law allows cities and towns to enter into payment in lieu of taxes, and it's called a pilot, an agreement that sets contractually agreed upon annual payments in lieu of a city and town's assessing and tax projects in the ordinary course. So these payment schedules reflect the mutually agreed upon value over time and are approved by the Department of Revenue with our authorization from town meeting. So that's important because, you know, there's been some implication that you know, they don't get the proper oversight, and the pilots might be undervaluing and people aren't paying their fair share of taxes. Pilots do have to be reviewed and approved by the DOR, and they are supposed to reflect the value of a property, and they're also voted on by town meeting. So there are some guardrails in place to make sure that pilots reflect the value of the property. Now, why would somebody do a pilot in this situation? The reason is because from the corporate standpoint, it provides financial stability and predictability when they go to finance a project like this long term. They know what the cost is going to be over a 20-year period. That's why they want to do a pilot. Often the same thing with the Trahan project, which also has a pilot. And they do that because they have to finance that project over a long period of time, and they want to have predictability in knowing what their liabilities are over that period of time. That's why corporations like pilots. The reason why it's a benefit to a community is that these types of uses, energy storage, data storage, anything to do with energy, is a lot of times you end up at the ATB, the Appellate Tax Board, fighting over the value that's been assessed by the community. And it goes on year after year after year. And you spend money trying to protect your assessment that's been issued. So a way to eliminate that uncertainty in the revenue stream is to have a pilot. So if you don't have a pilot, the conventional tax revenue, they pay a very high value at the beginning and it depreciates over time. What this does is provides you a level source of revenue over that period of time. So it's predictable, it's a benefit to the community in that sense, and you're not constantly having to defend the value because the value is agreed upon at the beginning of that pilot. So that's why a community and/or a corporation would pursue a pilot. And there are protections in place to make sure that pilots are reviewed by independent entities that ensure that the taxpayers' fiduciary trust is not violated. Thank you.
Right. Do we have any questions from the board members? Well, I got one last thing for you, Mr. Town Manager. I see we have the Assistant Town Manager
Oh, yeah.
joining us tonight.
Yes.
Well, we bring him up and introduce him
Thank
to
you,
the,
yes. So,
audience. And so we
Robert,
get-
why don't you come up and, I think most of you have met Robert, but it's been kind of a topsy-turvy last month. Robert's just finished up school, so now he's available for meetings, which is good. But for those of you who don't know, and for the general public, Robert comes to us from Stowe circuitously through path from Billerica. So I do have history with Robert in full disclosure, but it's good history. I hired Robert when I was in Billerica, and he was tremendous in his role there as a director of administrative services. After I left, he, for a period of time, was as the assistant town manager, and even were you at one point were acting town manager for a period of time?
2 weeks.
So for someone, he's got quite a broad range of history, and then he went to Stowe, and he was there for a little while and doing assistant town manager work there. But I don't know if this is gonna embarrass Robert, but I've known Robert since he was on the high school building committee as the student rep when the Billerica High School was being built. So known him for a long time. He's great history. He's he's going to be a great asset to the town and with a lot of energy, and I think he'll be a great asset to you as a board. And I'm looking forward to it. He's jumped right in, and he's really got his hands into everything already. So, Robert, do you want to say anything?
I would just like to say thank you, John, for the introduction. As like John said, I'm very excited to be here, and I'm very excited to get to work for the board and the community as a whole. I come from Billerica. I grew up there, so I'm familiar with the town here in Tewksbury. I'm familiar with the wants and the needs. But you can find me in the office, same with folks here in the audience. I'm available all the time, so please don't be a stranger. Stop by, say hello. Thank you.
Does anybody, any questions or things?
I'm just going to say welcome.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I wasn't going to let you get through the year when I was throwing you into the fire, so I got to throw you in front of the microphone and the camera, so all the residents get to know who you are and what you're doing. We're very excited to have you here, and we're looking forward to working with you. So thank you very much for joining us, and we appreciate your work already.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, let me see, what do we got? Mr. Town Manager, do you have anything else you'd like to bring up?
Not for my report, no.
Okay, I do thank you for that Walmart Motel 6 thing. I've always had concerns, there's a lot of work going on down there. I know the police department spends a lot of time down there. They've done a lot of work at that Walmart, but it definitely needs to be cleaned up. It needs to get a little bit of attention down there. So the fact that, we're doing economic development and looking at what's going on down there, it's a gateway into our town. And so having it, looked at, I appreciate that and all the other things. I appreciate you calling on Alex. I also want to call out, I think she has a committee that's like the celebration committee that works along with her. So I don't want to leave any of them out, just in case somebody, things like that. I appreciate everyone's hard work. Tree lighting was fabulous. That she did a wonderful job. I know she's the leader of that and does a wonderful job every year. But there was a lot of other people that helped out, and I appreciate them as well. And thank you for your update.
All right, thank you.
Okay. We are going to go to now town council invoice.
All right, Mr. Chairman, we have two invoices, one for the town council services rendered from October 16th through October 31st. Total amount due $3,740.
All right. Do I have a motion on that?
I'll make a motion to approve the invoice from 10/16 to 10/31 in the amount of $37.40.
Second. We got a motion and a second. All those in favor, please state by saying aye.
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well. Got a second invoice?
Yes, and for town council services rendered from November 1st through November 15th, in the amount of $3,357.50.
Do I have a motion on that?
I'll make a motion to approve that invoice from 11/1 to 11/15 in the amount stated.
Got a motion by Mr. Russo, second by Mr. Mackey. All those in favor, please state by saying aye.
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well. Minutes, we have none. Board member reports. Start with you, Mr. Holland.
I have no reports, but since this is our last meeting before Christmas, I'd like to wish everybody a Merry Christmas and a safe New Year.
Mr. Mackey?
Thank you. I have nothing to report at this time. I do want to echo the sentiment of the great holiday, great and safe holiday season. Merry Christmas to all.
From my perspective, we had the school facility committee, they met as through the visioning workshop with the consultants. So that is happening in 3 different workshops. The first one occurred last week. It was made up of about 55 individuals, different stakeholders throughout the education, through the school district, as well as members of the community. So that's ongoing. The next one will occur in early January after the holidays are done. And more to come at our next meeting, I'm sure.
Okay. The LRTA does not meet until January, but we do have a little bit of news. The Wilmington had voted, their select board had voted to join the LRTA. That will impact Tewksbury because if the board approves Wilmington to be joining it, it'll extend the service that comes through Tewksbury and adding one of the routes that they're proposing. We have a lot of seniors that have a difficulty getting to their hospital appointments. And one of the things that the board was looking at, working with Wilmington, was we currently have a bus, we have 2 buses that go through town. One goes up 133, one goes down Main Street, and goes from Gallagher to Wilmington, and that's where it ends. But with this new proposal, they'll have an additional bus. It'll increase the bus service going through Tewksbury because it'll be causing more service. It'll be going to Wilmington, but also they're going to extend the route to go from Wilmington Station to the Leahy Clinic over in Burlington and the Burlington Mall. So if that gets approved, seniors that need to get to their appointments will be able to use the bus to be able to get over there. I know we have shuttles that bring from the ride and things like that, but sometimes those aren't available. And if we have a regular bus service that may go over there, that may be an option that people may use. It'll also be beneficial to like a lot of younger people that are going to the mall or whatever it may be. Parents may not have to bring their kids over there if they're looking for jobs or whatever it is, and extending the services. So that's something that, if it's approved, that'll be exciting for our community, give a little bit more transportation. And, so I looked at the report, and the last report we had, it's 100,000 people ride the bus last year on Tewksbury. So we're either second or third busiest bus route in the thing. So they had 100,000 riders on the bus. If this extends and we get some more cars off of 38, hopefully everybody knows the traffic delays we deal with. So if we can get some more people to use the public services, all the better. All right, at that, I also want to wish everybody happy holidays, a Merry Christmas. And at that, I'm looking for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
A motion, do I have a second? Second. All those in favor, please state by saying aye.
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well. We are adjourned.